Peugeot were once again dominating the Paris-Dakar. Vatanen and Voldegaard were first and second, 6 minutes apart. Second place Jean Fontenay had gearbox troubles and dropped 12 minutes. It was a Peugeot 1-2 until Voldegaard got stuck on top of this sand dune and lost 20 minutes, digging himself free. Vatanen and the 405 continued to lead the cars. Second place now taken by the Peugeot 205 fast support car of Philippe Vonberg. There was trouble in the larder camp for Ickx and Rivière, trouble too for Tombe, and Peugeot were looking untouchable. Sonauto Yamaha team riders Lallet and Neveu almost came to grief here as they raced across the desert in pursuit of Picot. One of the traps of desert riding is the sudden change of ground level behind a low ridge. It's almost invisible until you're on top of it, but both survived as Lallet warned Neveu. Later, Franco Picot fell, and this moment ultimately cost him all chance of victory in Paris-Dakar 90. Meanwhile, Vatanen streaked on across the desert, heading irrevocably towards his third win and Peugeot's fourth. Pierre Renaud gives us a classic illustration of a desert ice siding, thrown clear by a bike he couldn't possibly have controlled. But he signals he's okay and ready to carry on. And now the lead on two wheels changed rapidly. Stefan Peter Hansel got lost in the desert, and that navigational error cost him no less than 45 minutes and the lead of the event. Once again, the gap in the truck section was considerable. The Pollinis ran more than 12 hours ahead of the nearest Tatra, and their pace was easily visible. Although their loads were not quite as close packed as some of the native vehicles they encountered on the run to the rest day at Agadez. Then it was back into action once more. Vatanen, the man in the lead still. As the leaders searched their maps, compasses and the desert for the best route, Stefan Peter Hansel charged hard to make up for the lost time created by his earlier navigational error, but he got lost again and this time missed a fuel stop. Alone in the desert, he ran out of petrol and out of Paris-Dakar. Into Mali now, and Ari Vatanen was the lead driver, getting stuck at the head of this Peugeot train as they searched for the best route, and this hold-up cost him no less than 40 minutes. The other Peugeots and this Mitsubishi found a quicker way through. As soon as he was going again, Vatanen tore the rear wing off the Peugeot on the branches of a tree, and that slowed him even more. Now the leaders were Voldegaard in the Peugeot and Hubert Oriol, and as Voldegaard drives past, Oriol bogged down in the soft sand, and that cost him no less than 2 hours, giving the lead to Voldegaard and letting Vatanen close up again. Meanwhile, Philippe Vonberg and Bjorn Voldegaard all but collided in the vast empty wastes of the Mauritanian desert. The final stage on the beach at Dakar, but Orioli had a lead of 54 minutes, so the last few kilometres couldn't change anything in the bike section, although for one or two people the last few kilometres changed everything. After 11,415 kilometres, Philippe Joie found his Paris-Dakar abruptly terminated. Just 1 kilometre from the end of the rally, his bike was driven on by Rivière's larder, and that was the end of that. He got going, but it only lasted a few yards. This was the moment that cost him everything. Happier scenes at the finish on the beach as 1988 winner Eddie Orioli claimed another victory, this time for Cagiva, his second there first, behind Carlos Massamora and then Alessandro De Petri in third place. On four wheels, the story was a clean sweep for Peugeot, first, second and third. Vatanen, Voldegaard and Ambrosino. Peugeot's fourth win and their most convincing so far, and Vatanen's third. In the truck section, it was indeed the Perlinis which were victorious, although Husa finished second, giving victory to teammate Villa.